Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to set up DNS on Packet Tracer and what DNS is. So I'm going to start off with what DNS is. DNS is a domain name service, server, whatever you want to name it. It basically resolves the domain name that you enter in on your web browser. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so you're going to go in your web browser. You're going to type in www.facebook.com. This isn't going to work, but hostname unresolved. The reason why it's unresolved is because, well, I need to set up my DNS server, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So basically the way it works is you type in something on your web browser and your computer doesn't understand what facebook.com is. So it's going to check its own host file. Every single, well, at least Windows PCs, they all have a host file. A host file is a local DNS, I guess you'd say. So it checks the host file to see. It basically asks itself, "Hey, do you have an IP address for Facebook.com?" It says no. So then your computer goes to your router. Then it asks your router, "Hey, is there anyone on our local area network that has an IP address for Facebook.com?" Your router then checks the servers, whatever's on your network. It responds saying no. So then your computer then goes to your internet service provider's DNS server, and then it asks, "Hey, do you have an IP address for Facebook.com?" If it does, then it sends back the IP address for Facebook.com. If it doesn't, then it checks another server, and asks another server, and then once it gets a response from a server, it then goes up the line, and then those servers add Facebook.com's IP address to its cache. So if it comes across this problem, it's lightning fast. These computers are pretty damn smart, and it happens in a snap. So that's how DNS works. So right now I have a DHCP server, I have a DNS server, and I got a web server. So let's set up DNS. Now, DHCP is completely something else. It just hands out IP addresses. Now, if you're going to be setting up, on Packet Tracer or in the real world, you want to give your servers a static IP address, meaning it's not dynamic. It doesn't change. It's the same IP address no matter what happens. If you disconnect it and reconnect it back in, it's the same IP address. Now with users, clients, whatever you want to call them, they're dynamic. DHCP, they got handed an IP address. So before we do this, set up well, actually screw that. That's another video. DNS. So I got a web server right here, and I got an HTTP, I got HTTPS and HTTP, both loaded. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that's what it stands for, and then the S stands for secure. So I got a few, things right here. Just HTML files. Yeah. So yeah, that's what the web server has on it. It's a very simple HTML text. So now we're gonna go to our DNS server. Now before we do this, let me just mark what these IP addresses are for these devices. 168.1.1. Okay. 192.168. 1.2 and 192.168. 1.3. These are the IP addresses for these servers. Okay, so the web server has 192.1.1. So now we're going to go on our DNS server. We're going to check off HTTP. We're going to check off DHCP. We're going to turn on domain name service. The name of that server, we're going to name it Facebook.com. It's going to be an A record, and the IP address is 192.168.1.1. and we're going to add it, and we're going to, yeah, just add it. Okay, so now we're going to go over here. We're going to go in our web browser, www.facebook.com. Bam, there we go. And now I can browse the interwebs. That is DNS right there. Now if I go back on the web browser and I type in 192.168.1.1, it brings me to the same place. That, if you just type in IP addresses for everything, you wouldn't have to, I mean, there would be no purpose to DNS. So let's see if this works. I don't know if this will work because this may not be a web server for, this is a real life, why be damn. Alright, so just open up Google and we're going to type in 173.252.120.6. I think that's what it is. And it brings you to Facebook.com. So that's how DNS works. That's how you set up a packet tracer. Now, obviously, this is not how an enterprise. This is not an enterprise DNS service at all. It's not. That's in a different video. This is just a local area network and just an explanation how DNS works. And actually, I might be able to do this for you real quick. So I'm going to ping from here to my web server. I mean, this isn't. Yeah. Let's see if I can do a custom. Ding. Do HTTP destination. Whoa. La, 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 la. I don't know if this is going to work. www.fa. I've never done this, so I might look stupid doing the source IP address. 192.168.1.4. Yeah, this is probably not going to work. Yeah. Yep. Okay, well, that's it. That's DNS.